Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Manifesting Millions podcast. Today is another juicy interview for you. I am bringing on Nicki Chang-Powless for a fantastic conversation all about marketing. There seems to be a theme around here lately. What you're going to love about today's episode is that Nicki gives us clear, practical marketing guidance, a smarter way to choose what actually works for your business, and real clarity instead of just like chasing shiny object syndrome. So, if your marketing has felt messy, if you feel like nothing you're trying is working, this conversation is packed with gold for entrepreneurs who are tired of trying all of the things and still not getting results. Let's get your business transformed. Let's make you some serious money and let's hit play. Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast, where manifestation meets real life and money mindset conversations become the catalyst for true transformation. I'm Amy Diamond, and I help high-performing women like you move beyond shame, guilt, and struggle so they can step into deeper wealth, confidence, and a life that feels as delicious on the inside as it appears on the outside. If you've ever sensed you were meant for more money, more freedom, more ease, more of the life you actually want, and you're ready to create it, this is your place. We explore the mindset shifts, energetic upgrades, and practical strategies that support you in becoming the woman who not only creates what she desires, but carries herself like she already knows it's hers. Because a wealthy as fuck life isn't just something you put on a vision board. It's something you live. You're about to step into something powerful, babe. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am your host, Amy Diamond. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Today, I get to sit down with one of my favorite kind of people, a woman entrepreneur who's out doing amazing things in the world. You know how much I love these conversations. Today, I get to sit down with Nicki Chang-Powless. Now, before I let Nicki say hello and get into the conversation, let me tell you a little bit about her. Nicki believes every entrepreneur deserves a business that feels simple, fun, and profitable without burnout. She is an international speaker, business strategist, client attraction specialist, and Amazon best-selling author of Putting the Pieces Together: Your Survival Guide to the First 5 Years in Business. Nicki is also the creator of Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery, her signature program that helps entrepreneurs cut through confusion and attract clients with ease. Recognized with the 2018 Best New Business Venture Award and the 2019 Entrepreneur of the Year, Nicki continues to empower heart-centered entrepreneurs to grow with clarity, confidence, and freedom. We're going to be diving into all things marketing today, and very excited to share that Nicki has a brand new book that is going to be out very soon. It might even be out available for you by the time we publish this podcast. The book is called Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery, and we're going to get into all the things today. Welcome, Nicki.
Thank you, Amy. I'm very excited about this.
It's going to be such a good conversation. Now, Nicki, before we dive into all the things, you and I go back a few years. I was trying to think when we first met, but it's like 2015, 2016,
I
maybe?
think I've lost track. I have this time parameter, life before COVID and life after
I mean, really,
COVID.
yeah. Suffice it to say, we've known each other since pre-COVID, so that was at least like 100 million years ago. So we've known each other for a little while. I'm delighted to have you on the podcast today. Nicki, why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little more about you. Tell us what got you into the work that you're doing, and maybe why we should be as excited about marketing as you are.
I can definitely tell you that. We'll get to that in a minute.
Right.
Just to give you a little bit of background, I did spend over 20 years in the corporate world. So coming from Calgary, yes, I was in the oil and gas. And it was like one day I'm like, we got to go do something different. You know how sometimes you get to that point in your life, you have no idea what's on the next step of the journey. And I just left. I basically retired and I said, this is it.
Wow.
And after uh, decompressing for 1 year, I had somebody come up to me and they said, Nicki, I got laid off. I want to take the severance package and I want to start a business. I know exactly what I want to do, but I have no clue how to start a business.
Mm.
And he goes, will you help me? You've got all this business experience. Will you help me? And my exact words to them was, sure, why not? I've got nothing better to do with my time. I'm serious. That is a pure quote. And then what ended up happening was a couple of months later, somebody came to me and said, I've been in business for a couple of years now, and I'm not attracting the type of clients that I really want to work with. You've got the sales experience. Will you help me? And that's when I kind of stepped back, and it was like the heavens parted, the angels are started to singing, and they're sitting here going, this is what you should be doing. So today I work exclusively with small business owners to support them on their small business journey. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I first started my business, I figured, okay, great. I've got two clients to start with, right? I've got two clients to start with. What am I going to do next? I built a website, right?
Yeah,
I
of
built a
course.
website and thinking, guess what? I've got the open for business sign up.
Right.
If I build it,
They will
they
come.
will come. Exactly. Guess what happened?
Nothing came.
They didn't come.
Crickets.
They didn't come.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm sitting here going, okay, what am I going to do now? Right. So I tried a little bit of this, I tried a little bit of that. And you know what? It wasn't working. And what I was actually seeing was my bank account, my savings account that I used to start this business,
Hmm.
just slowly go down. And it was like the turning point when my husband was looking at the bank statement and he's like, uh, he didn't say a word.
Ooh, the
And I'm
look said
sitting
it
here
all.
going, yeah, exactly. The look said it all. And that's when I realized that I really have to make this work.
Yeah.
Right. And so, how do I get out there and do things? Now, that's kind of how I got started. But the motivation to really specialize in that client attraction side
Hmm.
came from I saw this opportunity. It looked like a wonderful opportunity, right? I got this really good deal where I can invest in digital ads.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So I put out the ad and, I followed the guy's suggestion. We put together what the ad looks like. It led to my website and all of these things.
Hmm.
And I gave him money to set all this up. And actually, for the monthly rate, it was actually really good.
Yep.
I got absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's a
I got,
story I'm very familiar with.
yeah. So I got traffic, but nothing. I ended up putting a halt to it when my tab got to $2,000.
Right.
And I realized this isn't working. I
So
have
at
to
this point,
figure,
you'd put $2,000 in towards the ad spend, but not a single client, no dollars had actually come out. So your ROI was zero.
right,
Okay.
right. So what I did was I put a stop to it and I shifted my strategy. I tried a whole bunch of other things until I realized that there were certain pieces that I was missing for my marketing to be successful.
Hmm. Can you expand on that a little bit? Like what pieces and how did you know they were missing?
Uh, okay, interesting. Well, here's the thing. The question that I help with support my clients now
Hmm.
were the questions that I had back then.
Right.
Okay. So here's the thought process. There is so many different ways to market my business. Which one should I choose?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is I that was the first question in my head. Should I do Facebook ads? Should I do more digital ads? What should I be doing? Right?
Hmm.
So that's the first question is which one should I pick? And the next question that came to my mind, if it's not currently working, what do I need to change? Okay?
Hmm.
What do I need to change? And then the third question I asked myself is what do I need to do to get the best return on my investment when it comes to marketing?
Okay.
Can you
So just to
relate?
clarify, you mentioned that you were in corporate, but you weren't in marketing before.
Actually, I was.
Oh, okay.
Marketing for corporate is different than marketing for a small business owner.
Okay.
It's very different.
Okay.
Okay. Like, I mean, a lot of the techniques that I had was very different when used as a small business owner.
Can you give us a simple for instance? Because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially I'd say in the first probably 10 years of their business,
Mhm.
are observing. And the truth is, most of what we observe is big corporate because they have the big dollars to spend on ads and all those things. What are the things that would work really well for corporate, but don't translate into small business ownership so that we can see those in the world and go, that's amazing if you're like, I have gas on the brain today. So like Enron or Enmax or like Petro-Canada. It's fuel prices are dropping in Calgary, and I think that's why it's stuck in my brain. Like outside of those big multinational corporations that have lots of dollars, what are the things that work really well for them that don't translate for those of us as small business owners?
Well, first off is the budget.
Yeah.
They've got a budget, they've got a momentum that they're building. And what was interesting was the methods that I had uncovered that was effective for small business owners
Hmm.
can be incorporated by large businesses, but they're not. Because the way I was trained in sales, I was trained in corporate sales. I used to work for Hewlett Packard.
Yeah.
They gave us all the information. They told us this is our product, this is all the stuff. So they gave it to us.
Hmm.
As a small business owner, we have to identify our own product brand.
Right.
So when you're in corporate and when you're representing a company, they already have that stuff in place for you.
Mm.
So if you're a coach or a therapist or, selling specific products and services, these are not, we don't have this stuff. We don't have clarity on our product brand, which
Right.
is one of the key pieces that is missing in a lot of marketing. So I've
Mm.
worked with hundreds of small business owners.
Hmm.
That is the first thing we look at, and that is the first thing or that is the one big thing that most people are missing is clarity on their product brand.
Right.
Now, when I say product brand, I'm not talking about logos in fonts and colors.
Hmm.
That's what they call visual branding. That's visual branding.
Right.
But when it comes to product brand, it's answering these key questions. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're watching this or listening to this podcast, you might want to take a pen and paper here because this is the part that really makes a huge difference is understanding your product brand.
Right.
Number one is understanding who your target audience is. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, actually, I want to stay on this point a little bit longer because this is one of the common mistakes that people make when they talk about the target audience.
Yeah.
They say, I can help everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing is when it comes to marketing, when you're targeting everyone, you're actually targeting no one.
Hmm.
And I know a lot of people have heard of that saying before, but I'm going to share with you why that is the case.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, I'm going to take you back to elementary school days.
Perfect.
Do you remember in elementary school learning about the solar system?
Yes. Back when
Okay.
Pluto was a planet? Yeah.
Okay, we just dated ourselves.
We totally did. You're all very welcome.
Okay, but let's look at the solar system.
Okay.
The solar system has the sun at the center of the solar system, and the planets revolve around the sun, correct?
Yep.
Let me ask you this, Amy. If something happens to the sun, would you agree with me that it would affect how the planets rotate?
Yeah. That's how the universe works. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except we're looking at our business universe now.
Okay.
Okay. In our business universe, at the center of the universe is our target audience.
Okay.
In our business universe, we have three planets. And I'm going to share with you what those three planets are, okay?
Okay.
The first planet we're going to look at is our marketing message. Okay? This is
Okay.
how we articulate to the world what we do.
Right.
Now, this particular example I'm going to use is going to be using a massage therapist.
Okay.
A massage therapist offers massage therapy services. Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
However, this massage therapist wants to target stay-at-home moms.
Okay.
So her message might be something along the lines, come get away from the kids for a couple of hours.
Mm.
Relax. De-stress. So you can go back to being the best mom possible. Now, Amy, let me ask you this. If you're at home with a bunch of rambunctious kids, how's that sound to you?
I mean, it sounds pretty amazing. I was just visiting a friend who's expecting, and she has rambunctious kids. And I was like, girl, do you need me to take these away for a minute for a while? Yeah, that would sound wonderful.
Exactly. Now, here's my question to you, Amy.
Yeah.
Would that message attract a senior?
Maybe, but not directly speaking to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a senior, this massage therapist, will change her message. She says, come, I will loosen up your joint pains. I
Hmm.
will remove the knots from your muscles so you can enjoy life pain free and spend more time with your grandkids.
Right.
It's the exact same service, but by changing the target audience, we had to change our message.
Now, I'm going to ask the question that I know so many of us have when we are trying to do the very hard work of niching down into our client, which is by focusing on a more specific target, are we leaving money on the table?
Ah, great question, Amy. Here's the thing is the target audience we choose is who we want to market to and attract.
Hmm.
This is different than who we work with. So I'll give you an example. Years ago, I went to a networking event and I met a realtor. Amy, how many realtors do you know?
Two.
Two? Okay. Most people
Yeah,
say they know a ton of realtors,
I
right?
know. Oddly, I don't, even with my background in design.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's a lot of realtors out there, and this realtor at this networking event really caught my attention. She said, I focus on working with families who are going through divorce and separation.
Hmm.
I've gone through it myself,
Mhm.
and I understand the emotional trauma that goes through when they're going through this process.
Mhm.
Okay. And I can support these couples with a smoother transition.
Right.
That's beautiful. That's who she wants to attract.
Hmm.
But me, who is not going through a support or a separation or a divorce,
Yeah.
guess what? If I asked her whether she would list my house, is she going to say no?
I would imagine probably not. She probably would still say
Right.
yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So her marketing is to attract people who were divorcing and separating,
Right.
but she will take on those other clients if they come to her.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
And I
just
think does a nice job of clarifying that who we are marketing to is not necessarily the same as who we serve. And I gotta say, nobody has ever, I've been in business a long time, and nobody's ever said it in that particular way. My brain is still trying to put those two together because it feels like you're like, well, the sky is blue, but the sky is also not blue. And I'm like, what?
I'll give you another example, and I'll use myself as an example.
Yeah.
I support a lot of people in the client attraction side with their
Okay.
messaging and how to choose their marketing.
Right.
That's the area I specialize in. I also work with clients in terms of helping them build teams and systems in their business so they can get consistent results on the operation side.
Okay.
I don't advertise that side, like I don't actively market that side,
Hmm.
but it is a business that I also support.
Okay.
So a lot of my clients, if they start off with me on the marketing side, I will also help them with this other side. I'm not going to turn them away.
Right. So do you market the two separately then, or how do you have clients coming into that second stream?
Interestingly enough, that second stream, I don't advertise. Somehow they find me.
Okay.
I have a website. That for that part, the website does
Okay.
work, which I find interesting. A lot of my clients are people that I've been working with that came from the marketing client attraction side.
Okay.
However, I do have clients from referrals from other people that says Nikki can help you with your systems, can help you with building your team, helping you make more profit. So
Mm,
that is another side of my business. I
okay.
don't put it as much on my, there is a page on my website that talks about it, but it's not my core marketing, getting out there in front of people, target audience.
Okay. So people are finding you, but you're not specifically talking about it out in the public sphere. Okay.
Exactly. It's just like that realtor. When I ask her, will you list my house? Because I know you,
Yep. That's how it flows in.
it
Okay.
comes
So Planet One is marketing messaging, and that is who we are targeting, not necessarily who we serve.
exactly.
And then what's
Exactly.
Planet Two?
Planet number two is the customer experience.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to go back to that example of the massage therapist.
Hmm.
Now, this particular massage therapist, if she's targeting stay-at-home moms, she might decide to rent a room in a spa. You
Okay.
know, the lights are low, the music is
If
zen,
you're in the right
there's a
spot, there's one to
waterfall in
all
the...
the time for that reason. Yep.
Okay, so that's the customer experience for the stay-at-home moms.
Okay.
For the seniors, she might invest in a portable table
Okay.
so she can service them in their home,
Mm.
or she might rent a room in a senior center. So it's the exact same service, but how she delivers the customer experience changes with her target audience.
Okay, so let's pull that apart just a tiny bit because I don't want the audience to be confused that we're talking about customer experience only as the location. So in this case, you framed it as like we go to a spa, stay-at-home moms are like, let me get the heck out of here and leave the kids with dad for a while, versus a senior who you're going to their home or going to a senior center. So the experience isn't the physical location. It is the I'll call it the aura that they step into in order to receive the service.
Exactly. It could be how the service is delivered.
Okay.
So, as an example, if a senior is taking a technology course on how to use their iPad or something or their iPhone,
Hmm.
the technology company might have offer that service as a classroom in maybe a community hall,
Right.
right? However, if we're looking at the advanced features of the iPad or the iPhone towards a younger demographics,
Hmm.
they might offer it as an online course
Okay.
on Zoom, whereas seniors aren't really going on Zoom, except my mom. My mom actually does her church service on Zoom.
COVID did a lot to get people onto Zooms. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
really understanding who your target audience is
Okay.
and how they're going to receive that service.
Okay. So, question for you because we are in a digital age and lots of people. around us are online entrepreneurs. Like the 99.5% of my work happens in the online sphere. Outside of having, a certain look within the website or a certain aesthetic when it comes to emails, how would you help someone think about defining the customer experience in the online forum?
It really depends because it depends on your target audience too. Because when we talk about target audience, it's not necessarily just the consumer, because the target audience could be a corporation,
Okay.
right? A corporation, and let's say it's the CEO.
Hmm.
How you deliver the service to the CEO is going to be maybe different than how you deliver the service to a younger demographics or to a different demographic. So as an example, is a CEO is very busy, or anybody in the C-suite, they're very busy. To get their time, you know what? It's one-on-one.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Because I don't have time to go to a course or anything like that.
Hmm.
Whereas if you offer let's say a training course on for a different demographics, they might value being in a group and learning in a group.
Okay. So let's keep on with our massage therapist thread. So the massage therapist is wanting to scale their business. So we all know that if you're in service-based business, there's a bit of a ceiling to how much you can scale. So therapist is going, you know what? I really want to teach other massage therapists how to create a really profitable, enjoyable business. Okay. So they're now obviously they need to think about their messaging differently because they're targeting a completely different market. But how might they then approach that customer experience side of things, especially coming from a very tactile, we have a room, we can set it with candles and lights and music and all the things into potentially something that is in an online sphere? What are things that they can start to think about to go, how do I create this juicy customer experience?
It's a little bit tougher if it's something like massage therapy because it does require some level of physical interaction.
Hmm.
Actually, I have worked with therapists before,
Yep.
and what they do is they offer part of their program online,
Okay.
and then they will say, we're doing a 3-day intensive in person at this location.
Okay.
So, what they can teach online is taught online.
Hmm.
And for the areas where you need to be physically together, like maybe it's teaching them certain techniques or any, stuff like that,
Hmm.
that can be done in person. So I've seen a lot of hybrid coaching models
Okay.
or service models,
Yep.
depending on what you're doing.
But what are the things that they would think about in terms of the experience side for the customers when we're talking about the online space?
Because like we'll go back to the example of the massage therapist, right?
Hmm.
um, they have to consider what content that these massage therapists need to learn
Okay.
to be able to get through that, right?
Okay.
And then some, depending on their target audience, if they're specifically at one location, like
Hmm.
I'll use Calgary as an example, right?
Yeah.
If it's in Calgary, it could be just asking your audience, do you want us to be meeting at a classroom every week, or do you prefer it to be hybrid?
Okay.
Okay, that's one way of doing it.
Right.
That's having the target audience who live in Calgary.
Hmm.
However, if this massage therapist wants to deal with an international, more of an international therapists,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe might not be international, might be across Canada,
Yep.
they might decide that they will have to design it where it's got online for a portion of it,
Hmm.
but people have to fly in for the hands-on portion of it.
Got it.
So
Okay.
they would design the program based on the target audience definition.
Okay.
Remember the big difference between these two target audience. One definition says they live in Calgary.
Hmm.
The other definition says they live abroad
Okay.
or they can live abroad, right?
Right.
So she designs the program differently.
Okay.
Did
Okay.
that answer your question
I
or?
think so. And I think when we go to Planet 3, it's going to help us tie it all together. So we have Planet 1 is marketing message. We're speaking specifically to our target audience.
Yes.
Planet 2 is customer experience. So we're creating the setting, the I want to use a different word than experience.
It's how they deliver their service.
Okay. So the delivery model of it, whether it's in
Yes.
person in a specific room or online in a specific thing. Okay.
Yes.
And then Planet 3 is what?
Planet 3 is their marketing strategy.
Okay.
How are they going to get visible and in front of their target audience?
Right.
And I'll go back to that massage therapist and the stay-at-home moms, okay? So for the stay-at-home moms, because her message is talking to stay-at-home moms,
Hmm.
she's going to be advertising in playgroups. Might be on the bulletin board at the community hall while they're waiting for their kids to finish hockey practice or skating lessons or swimming lessons, right?
Right.
It might be an ad in the school, who knows? But it's wherever parents hang out.
Okay.
Okay. She might partner with the local piano teacher, right?
Mm.
There you go, right?
Hmm.
Have a little brochure or pamphlet at the piano teacher's house, right?
Right.
But that's for the stay-at-home moms.
Okay.
For the seniors, she's going to have a completely different strategy.
Hmm.
It might be at the seniors' home. She might even put in, if they, a bulletin board at the local pharmacy
Hmm.
because seniors are constantly waiting for medication,
Right.
right? So they might be reading the bulletin board.
Hmm.
So it might be an ad in the Seniors Association newsletter or something like that.
Right.
So it's really, so the marketing activities they choose depends on the target audience.
Okay.
Does that make
So,
sense?
yep. I want to ask for one more quick example because here's the thing that when you do it so well, Nikki, it's like, well, I can totally see it as a massage therapist for stay-at-home moms or for like seniors. So, um, let's say the massage therapist wanted to work with women who were 35 to 50 who had professional jobs and um, I don't know, maybe did like light activity. So they aren't moms, they aren't seniors, they're in all kinds of different industries. They're spread across the city. How might they start to think about what that marketing strategy would look like?
This is beautiful. That's a wonderful question, Amy. And that leads to part of the product brand, getting clarity on your product brand.
Okay.
So the first one is who your target audience is in the product brand.
Mm,
The second one is how do you solve their problem?
right.
Okay. So when in your example about, somebody who's in corporate who doesn't have this, who doesn't have kids and doesn't have that,
Hmm.
the question to the massage therapist is what problem is she solving for them?
Okay.
So I'm asking you, Amy.
So I'm making up a problem. Okay.
Yeah,
So um I would say one is time and two is how do I say this correctly? Like so I'm going to say time in two ways. Time in terms of having time in the day because they already
okay.
have a full-time job plus like whatever's happening in their life. And then time in terms of if they have to take a massage outside of their working hours, they're now restricted to evenings and weekends, which often include a premium price.
Okay. Okay.
So I would say that would be among the bigger side of the problems. And then part three of that would be if it's going to be premium, in order for them to receive the service, it might now be financially out of reach.
Okay. I'm going to share with you. Let's dive deeper into the examples. So this is
Okay.
absolutely fabulous. A person who's in the corporate, why would they want a massage?
They're sitting in an office, they're not moving very much, they're typing a lot, so their shoulders are like up in their earlobes. And if they're anything like me, they get it all between their shoulder blades and up the back of their neck.
This is beautiful. So, what the massage therapist will do in her message is come, I'll work out the knots that are in your back to loosen it up so you have more mobility because you're sitting in front of the computer all day,
Mm,
right?
hmm.
And that's the first planet, which is around the message, right? So she'll talk about the stress, the overwhelm, and the hunching, and how do get your posture back from being in front of a computer all day
Right.
on a keyboard.
Okay.
Okay. So that could be the message. How she offers the experience is this person has time is very valuable.
Hmm.
And in her specific situation, she might decide to maybe have an office downtown
Okay.
where people don't have to walk very far if they work downtown, if that's her target audience is in the downtown area.
Yep.
She might have an office downtown, or she might want to offer mobile services.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing about that specific target audience is if they're working professionals, they have a healthcare spending plan.
Right. Often, not
And
always, but often.
exactly,
Yeah.
often they do. And if that's the case, and you're talking about the price, guess what? She can
Right.
incorporate it and say, I am registered, so you would be able to claim my services.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
We have to know who our target audience is. What pain are we solving for them? In this case, it's being in front of a keyboard.
Hmm.
Okay. How we're going to deliver it. I gave you a couple of options on how that specific demographics would want it delivered, right?
Yep.
Because if they work downtown, we don't want to be driving all the way to Evergreen, right?
Right.
To get a massage, right?
Yeah.
And what was the third thing? Oh, in terms of the marketing,
Yeah.
with the third planet, is we might be um, seeing if we can go into the offices if we're downtown, right? Into the offices, maybe to do a lunch and learn or something about
Okay.
massage, right? Because that is another method. Speaking is one of the most popular methods of marketing
Yeah.
to be able to get out there and get people to understand what you do.
Let's talk on that for a little bit because I think that I'm going to just umbrella this and say a lot of marketing strategies, ads, whether it's Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever conventional ads, social media posts, even things like podcast interviews, which I would probably count as more of a speaking type of marketing strategy. But most of these, I'll call it more historical strategies, we're all familiar with. And they can be hit or miss. But when we are able to do a speaking engagement, we can get in front of people who are ideally really interested already in what we're saying. The question is, how do we start getting into that? Never mind the fact that, like, talking in front of a room of people can feel terrifying, but how would the massage therapist reach out to the company and say, "Hey, I want to do a lunch and learn on whatever, how to take care of your body or how to stretch between like meetings or something." How would a person thinking about their marketing strategy start to prepare for that, and how would they reach out to someone?
Okay, so here, that is a great question, Amy. First of all, in this particular situation, the target audience for her services is professionals,
Hmm.
okay, working professionals,
Yep.
but her target audience to get the speaking engagement is the company, probably the HR department.
Right.
Okay, so now she has to create a marketing strategy around how she's going to approach the company's HR department.
So is she having essentially then we can kind of think of it as two marketing messages, one that is, I'll say, out in the wild, that is catching the people that she specifically wants to help, and then one marketing message that is written in a more corporately acceptable language that is targeting towards the HR person or perhaps like an events planning person to say, here's what I'm proposing, here's the benefit it will bring to the employees, and here's that how it benefits the company?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So you're actually selling twice.
Right.
Okay, you're
Okay.
selling twice. You're getting in front of them. Now, here's the interesting thing about marketing, okay? Because you mentioned earlier there's networking, there's social media, there's all of these, there's YouTube, we talked about YouTube earlier.
Yeah.
There are so many different ways. What people have to recognize is some of these marketing activities are revenue generating activities,
Hmm.
and some of these activities are support activities.
Ooh, tell us more about those.
Okay. Um, One example is your website.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, we're going to go away from massage therapy for a bit. Okay.
Sure.
Because massage therapy is actually a lower ticket item.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So let's actually, I'm going to use furniture,
Okay.
luxury furniture.
Something I'm very familiar with. Okay.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I'm going to use luxury furniture. We do our research online.
Yep.
Okay, you go onto you first time you go onto this website.
Hmm.
Okay, you see this furniture that you like,
Yep.
and the price tag is $2,000.
Okay.
Are you going to press the buy now button, Amy?
I don't buy like most people, so if I were thinking like most people, I'd probably say probably not because I need to get myself into alignment with spending the money and make sure that it's the right decision for how I'm using that money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, for most people, they will go through their own purchasing process
Hmm.
for anything over $200.
Okay.
That seems to be the point, okay?
Okay.
How you buy something under $200,
Hmm.
like a cute pair of red shoes that's just sitting that's in that window,
Yes.
I will walk into the store and buy that, right?
Right.
However, anything more than $200, I want to experience it. I want to see, are there testimonials, right?
Hmm.
Is it right for me? If it's furniture, and if it's a couch, I might want to go and sit on it, make sure it's comfortable, and all of these things,
Yeah.
okay? For $200, I probably won't care much about it. I'll
Hmm.
just buy it, right?
Right.
But for $2,000, I'm going to go through my own process. Would you agree with me on that?
Yep.
So here's the thing is most people won't buy it the first time.
Right.
So your website is a support marketing activity.
Okay.
Okay. You have to have that website to show people. You
Hmm.
have to have that presence maybe on social media to say the high quality of this furniture. I'm just using furniture as an example.
Yeah.
So they see you on social media, but people aren't going to buy right away.
Hmm.
But the more they see you, the more they will remember you, right? You might have posts in, the different social media platforms. You might do networking for people in the luxury area, or you might put an ad or be a sponsor at an event. Well, they're not going to buy your furniture at the
Hmm.
event, but they're going to remember you, right? So
Yep.
those are support activities
Okay.
to support the purchasing process.
Okay.
Where what really happens in terms of the purchasing might be going into the store and making that purchase, or the one-on-one call that we have,
Hmm.
discovery call that we have to go through the details, make sure they're comfortable with you, and all of that before they sign on the dotted line.
Okay.
Okay. Now, speaking is one of those activities that can be a support activity, but it can also be a closing activity.
Okay.
So, as a support activity, might be um, I'm speaking at a conference
Hmm.
and I'm talking about my stuff, but I'm not allowed to sell my stuff.
Right.
So, my call to action might be come get on a call with me,
Okay.
right? And when you're on that call, that is a closing activity.
Okay, so let's just parse that out real quick. So you're at a conference, you're not allowed to sell from the stage, as in you're not allowed to actively say, if you want to buy my book, program, coaching, go to the, table 49 in the back or whatever. But you could say, if you're interested in learning more about the work that I do or how to work with me, here's the options to do those.
Right,
And
right.
the second example would have that conference speaking showing as a support activity. Revenue generation comes down the line.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
Because, and I want to add to that, if you're speaking at an event, most people won't sign up to meet with you
Right.
because they know they're going to get on a sales call.
Yeah.
Usually, what's more effective is here is my lead magnet. I've got a gift for you for coming today.
Mm,
And this is what it is. Let's say it's 10 steps to whatever,
yeah.
right? Or 10 habits you can build to make sure your posture is in line,
Hmm.
or to remove the pain from working in front of a computer, right? Here
Right.
are 10 ways 10 exercises you can do.
Yeah.
Giving away the 10 exercises is nothing, because we know that people will need that massage
Yeah.
to really work it out and to get those results.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense? So they
Totally.
might not say, come see me. They might say, here, download the 10 things. And then they download the 10 things, and then it will lead people to want to eventually connect with you.
Right. Okay. And so, like, let's say we were in that high-end furniture example. Their lead magnet could be like, I'm going to give you 3 steps to update the furniture that you have. Plus, here's how to prepare financially, spatially, in a decor side of ways for the upgraded piece that you're working your way towards.
Or it could be something like, um, here are 3 things to consider when you're choosing the right color for
Mm,
your couch,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
right? Or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Love it. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So we have our 3 planets: marketing message, customer experience, marketing strategy. And inside the marketing strategy, we have revenue generating one activities and support activities, correct?
Exactly. And here's the
Okay.
thing, Amy, when people ask me, which is the right activity for me to do
Hmm.
to get more clients?
Yeah, Nikki, which
So,
one do we all need to do? Tell us the secrets.
okay, well, you've already got part of it, because knowing your target audience is absolutely key
Right.
to what activities, right? I've already showed you so many different examples of why you would choose one activity versus the other based
Right.
on just the audience.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of different elements that are involved with choosing the right activity for you.
Okay.
Because I've had clients who have come up to me and they go, Nikki, I hate social media. And I'm like, that's fine. Let's build a plan that works for you that doesn't have to do with social media.
Hmm.
That is always possible,
Yeah.
right? It's about knowing what is ideal for that specific individual. And it's about identifying which combination of activities is going to be the right one for you. And it's like a combination lock. So, what works for you and opens your lock, Amy, is going to be different than what opens my lock.
Hmm.
And when we find that magic combination,
Hmm.
it opens up tremendous doors.
Hmm.
That's the key. It's about finding the right combination of activities that will work for you and your business. So you and I can be in the exact same business, but our marketing strategies and the activities we choose may be different.
Okay. So the book that you have coming out that's going to be out very, very soon, Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery. Inside there, do we learn some of the different strategies and how to figure out what our specific combination lock is?
Yes. So
Okay.
what I did was when I wrote the book, that's what I had in mind.
Hmm.
One of the most common things that people come to me is when they're sitting here going, this activity doesn't work,
Hmm.
or that activity doesn't work.
Hmm.
And I tell them, it does work. It's just that you might be missing pieces for that specific activity to
Right.
work well.
Okay.
Okay. Or you might be at a different stage of your business for that. You might need to be at a different stage of your business for that activity to work well.
Mm.
Okay. And I'll give you an example for that.
Okay.
Is one of my clients came up to me and she says, I think I want to do Facebook ads. And I said, why do you want to do Facebook ads? And she said, because I can reach a larger audience. And I said, okay, fine. You know, she knew who her target audience was.
Mm.
And I said, what do you want to sell? Or what is your action, your call to action for this ad? And she says, oh, I want people to sign up for my $50 membership.
Okay.
I'm like, you know what, $50? People wouldn't have a problem seeing a Facebook ad and spending $50, right?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, fine. Um, and I said, are you going to be leading them to the landing page to purchase? And she said, yes, that's what I want to do. Then I looked at her and I said, has anyone ever purchased your membership from that landing page alone without having to talk to you about it? And her answer was no.
Mm.
And I said, what makes you think Facebook ads is going to change that?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, oh, she said, people have told her that her landing page is confusing.
Okay.
So Facebook ads will just be, she's going to spend money and she's still going to have a confusing ad.
Right.
So I said, where you really need to spend the time on today at this point in time
Yeah.
is really putting together a landing page that is clear, that people understand and will take action on.
Right.
So Facebook ads will work, but you're not ready for it.
Got it. Okay. So one of the things, let's talk about that quickly, because landing pages is a very intriguing, gut-wrenching experience of how do I take this experience, this idea that I have, this product, this service that I want to provide to people because I know the good it can do in the world,
Mhm.
and clarify it so that when they get to that landing page, it makes sense to someone who's not us.
Right.
So, what are some questions perhaps that we can ask ourselves to get us out? Because this is the really tricky thing about being a solopreneur in particular, is that we're so close to the thing that we are providing, whether it's a service or a product, online training, anything like that. We're so in it
Mhm.
that to communicate to someone else what it is that we do in a way that has them going, oh my God, I need this like yesterday, can be very challenging. What are questions that might be helpful for people to pull back and see that overview a bit better?
Okay. I'm going to share with you a story on this, okay?
Okay.
And this will tie everything up.
I love it.
Exactly what you said. Okay, Amy, let's go on a road trip. You and I are going to go on a road trip, okay?
I like it. Somewhere
We're
cooler,
go
please.
we're going to California.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, we're going to go to California.
Okay.
You and I are going to California and we're going to the beach.
Okay.
And you and I are in the water. We're playing around in the water. We're swimming in the water. Okay.
Yep.
We're having a great time.
Yeah.
Amy, let me ask you this. When do we see the shark?
Hopefully when we're on the beach.
But we're in the water. So when do we see the shark?
I guess the tail, the dorsal fin is essentially what we would see, or it's like right underneath us.
When it's too late.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Right.
Sorry. I'm
Yeah,
thinking
no,
like,
that's
well,
fine.
hopefully 5 miles away so I can get out.
But you won't see it 5 miles away because you're
Right.
in the water,
Right.
right?
Of course. Okay.
So here's the thing, Amy. Over there on the beach,
Yep.
there is a platform where the lifeguard is sitting.
Right.
And it's that lifeguard's responsibility to keep an eye out on water hazards. They
Okay.
can see the changing, the way the water changes and all of that. And they will see that fin, okay, maybe not 5 miles away, but
Right.
they will see that fin coming. And then they're going to grab the bullhorn and they're going to go, get out of the water, get out of the water, right? And we're going to get out of the water. Now, Amy, would you agree with me? It has nothing to do with our ability to be good swimmers.
Oh, yeah. As long as you have enough of a head start, it really doesn't matter.
Right. But if the shark is right there,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter, right?
it's true. Yep.
Okay. It's the same thing with our business.
Okay.
We are in the water with our business.
Hmm.
We are building our message. We are building our how we're going to offer our delivery of our products. We are building it
Hmm.
and we are in the water.
Hmm.
The thing is, we can help our clients make great business decisions. We know our stuff. We are great business owners. But when we're in the water, it doesn't matter because we're too close to it.
Hmm.
It takes somebody on the beach to be able to say, "Hey, your plan sounds great. Have you considered this?
Right.
Have you considered that? Or if you switch this, or switch this piece,
Hmm.
I think it can open up a lot more doors for you."
Right.
And the reason we can't see it is because we are in the water.
Right.
And that's why when you're working in a community or in a group, whether it's a mentor or a coach or in a community, like I have a marketing community,
Yeah.
we can help people identify those things ahead of time.
Mm.
So I'll give you an example. One of my clients, she was building her this wonderful lead magnet. And she said to me, she says, "Nicki, I'm building this lead magnet." And she told me the name of the lead magnet. And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, time out." I said, "Come up with 5 different names of your lead, or 5 other topics, or 5 topics that you can have for your lead magnet.
Hmm.
And I want you to test it out with the group and ask the group, which one would you download?"
Hmm.
She did that. And she came back and she said, "Nicki, you just saved me a ton of time
Hmm.
because what I'm building is not what they want."
Yeah. So let's talk about that very quickly before we finish up on like talking about the book and then let our listeners go. Um, One of the things that I think is challenging, especially when we're at the start of an entrepreneurial journey, is that we don't have the community. We don't have spaces that we know of, or sometimes they're time constraints or financial constraints or geographical constraints that we aren't in these spaces to test those things out. How how do we start testing to find out what people want when we're new? We don't have an Instagram following or a big email list or right, all of the things. So the best thing we have, and I hear this from so many, is, well, my family thinks it's great. My friends think it's awesome. And it's like, cool. And I get that. And also, are they buying it from you? Right? Like, are they like climbing over themselves to be like, oh my God, Amy, I need to buy that, I don't know, Jaguar that you have, like get it to me now, kind of a thing, right? How would someone at the start without any of that who wants to test but doesn't know where they can start testing that, how might they start?
You start by defining who your target audience is
Okay.
and asking them.
Okay.
If you don't if you don't have access to that target audience,
Hmm.
I would say rethink your target audience because I'll give you an example. Is somebody said to me is I want to help moms with young kids.
Right.
This person has never had kids before.
Yeah.
She's going to look like a fish out of water in a playgroup,
Hmm.
right? So it is not, she needs to relook at that target audience that is more in alignment with them.
Okay.
So if you choose a target audience that you can't have access to, or if you don't have access to, how are you going to expect to get them as clients if you don't have access to them?
Right.
Okay. And so to answer your question about getting their feedback is identifying who your target audience is and then asking them.
Okay. And if someone is building something in an audience that they don't have ready access to now,
Mhm.
can they overcome that hurdle?
Well, that's why I built the community. I have a Visibility Accelerator Mastermind community,
Okay.
which is very easy for people to come in, to ask questions, and to be able to get access to feedback.
Mm,
Because the way I like to think of marketing is part science and part art.
right.
The science part is when you maybe fill out this form and you'll get what you want to put onto your website.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use that as an example. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to use the website. So the science part is your website has to have these elements.
Hmm.
That's the science part. The art part is, does the website resonate with your audience and make a connection?
Okay.
That part is not something AI can produce.
Right.
Okay. They can tell you, we think that this is what people will resonate with,
Hmm.
right? But the real question is to ask your group or community, how's my website? So we do website reviews all the time. People come up and say, I just designed my website. This is what I have. And they build a work of art. They think it's absolutely beautiful. And I had one client who spent countless of hours putting this. And I'm sitting here going, I am your target audience. And I think you can have a better choice of colors
Mm,
for your website because I'm having a hard time reading yellow font on purple background.
right.
They didn't see it,
Yeah.
right? They didn't see it.
Right.
However, when we all looked at the website, we're like, oh, this is really hard to read. Like we're
Hmm.
going like this, or the font is too curly, right?
Yeah.
It looks great,
Hmm.
right? This is when you have a community that can give you feedback,
Hmm.
it'll make your marketing journey much easier.
Okay.
And
So
it's
people can join in the community that you have from anywhere in the world, or do they have to be
yes, it
Calgarian?
is it
Okay.
is online. It is
Okay.
online.
I
So
mean, no
yes.
cowboy hats required, everybody. You
No.
can just jump into Nikki's community. Nikki, we'll put some links in the show notes for how people can find that community. But before we go, I want to hear a little bit more about the book so that people can get their hands on the book and know what they're looking for. So we're walking them through some different marketing strategies. The book walks them through how to identify strategies that could be their unlock, correct?
Well, I'll share with you the structure of the book, okay?
Okay.
So the structure of the books is really in three sections.
Okay.
And the first section is around getting clarity on your product brand, who your
Perfect.
target audience is, and all of that. And I explained to you today what the importance of that. So
Yeah.
that is what the first section's about.
Okay.
The second section is about the basic assets for your business. So building the website, this is what it should look like. If you're going to do a lead magnet, these are the elements that you should consider. This is why you should have a lead magnet or not have a lead magnet. So it goes into detail on the systems required for running a smooth business. Let's put
Okay.
it this way. You want a website because you could be doing business in the middle of the night while you're sleeping,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So this goes through the assets. The
Okay.
third section goes through all of the different ways you can market your business, why you would choose that specific method,
Yep.
who it's ideal for, what are the common mistakes with that specific method, and here are the best practices with that method.
Hmm.
So we
Okay.
go through as much as possible. And I know AI keeps changing the landscape of things, so I do address that. That there are some areas, like for instance, social media algorithms keeps changing, and all of that keeps changing, keeping in mind. And I go through that in each individual section where it makes sense.
Nice. Okay.
And so the intention of the book is to help people make smart marketing decisions.
Hmm.
This is not shiny object syndrome, because I know a lot of people going, hey, that sounds really good, squirrel, right? We're going
Yep.
to buy into this.
Yeah.
It's putting some thought into what you're doing,
Okay.
making intelligent decisions when it comes to marketing.
Right.
And for a lot of people, this information is not common knowledge,
Yeah.
right? Because I've seen it so happen so many times that people don't understand these areas.
Hmm.
And because of that, that's why I wrote the book.
Got it. Okay.
I
So
wanted to get it into the hands of people to be able to understand it.
I love it. We're going to have a link in the show notes as well so that if the book is saying your name, you can get your hands on it right away. And best fit for the book, Nikki, do I need to have a business already in order to gain some really great clarity out of it? Does the business have to be a certain size in order for me to gain clarity out of it? When's a great time to pick it up if as related to the timeline of my business and the growth that I'm looking for?
Let's put it this way. If you've been had a business for a while and you realize that there might be better ways for you to approach your marketing,
Hmm.
you will probably get some tips and pointers in there, maybe a perspective that you never considered,
Mm,
right? And it's about showing you what your options are.
okay.
If you're starting out, I would suggest that you take it from beginning to end in that
Mm,
order, because guess what? For the people who are buying the book who have been in business for a while, they went through a lot of hard learned lessons, right?
yep.
So if you're starting out and you want to do it right the first time,
Yeah.
this book will literally take you through it, because I've had the vast majority of my clients, right? They're starting at step 10.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're missing 1 to 9. So now we have to go backwards and do this to fill in those pieces, right?
Right.
But if you're brand new, you can start at the beginning,
Right.
right? And if you're a little lost, there will be resources there that you can reach out to
Perfect.
help you.
Okay.
And the other thing that I do want to mention is, as a marketing strategist, I help people identify the right activity for them. And that's what this book does. But I've also partnered with some featured experts that go into more detail into that specific area, because it's
Mm.
their area of expertise.
Hmm.
Okay, so as an example, when it comes to websites and getting found on search engines,
Hmm.
don't look at me. I can help with the content
Hmm.
part, right? But I have an expert like Dottie Scott to help with how to what you can incorporate onto your website to
Right.
get seen on search engines.
Got it. Okay. So really great if you're getting started. And I would even say, listen, like the first probably 2 years of business, if you're like, I've been doing this for 18 months already, get your hands on the book because holy moly. Any person who's like started a business and been at it for a few years, you're like, I feel like I could have shortened the learning curve a little bit. And at the beginning, I thought, I got it all figured out. I know who I'm going to help. And then you're like 2 years in going, do I know who I'm helping actually right now? Because I feel like I'm not communicating this clearly. So we'll make sure that the link for the book is in the show notes. It is called Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery by Nicki Chang-Powless. All of that information will be in the show notes for you. Nikki, any final thoughts for our listeners before we sign off out of here? You've filled
Oh
our
my,
brain with some really amazing marketing knowledge, so thank you for that.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna let everybody say, let this information sink in, because we
Yeah,
went very deep today.
we
You had
did.
some amazing questions, Amy, and we did go deep. And I hope your audience can take something out of it. But when you read the book, it goes through it in more sequential order, and it makes
Perfect.
more sense.
Awesome. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. Nikki, how can people find you if they want to learn more about you? Are you on socials? Are you on website? What's the best
I'm
way?
on LinkedIn.
Okay,
So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. There is also my website, which we shared earlier, Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery. You can get a hold of me through the website too.
Amazing. Awesome. And again, we'll have everything, you know me, we'll have all the links in the show notes because not everything's that easy to spell. And if you're driving right now, please don't put it into a URL browser because that would be a terrible idea. Nicki, thank you so much for being here today. I really enjoyed this conversation. I think that people are going to get a lot out of it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Amy, for inviting me.
Lovely to have you. All right, my loves. We'll see you next week on the Manifesting Millions podcast. If you enjoyed today, please be sure to leave a review. And if you know another solopreneur or an entrepreneur who's been at it for a little while and is tearing their hairs out, send them this episode because there is so much gold in here. They will thank you at one point. They might not thank you right away, but they will thank you at one point when they go, oh my God, okay, that like clarified a lot of things to me. So share this episode out, help Nicki get her work into the world, and help other entrepreneurs shorten the learning curve. With that, my loves, I will see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode, my love. If you loved what you heard today, I'd be so grateful if you left a review and shared it with someone ready for more. For additional love and inspiration, find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at XOAmyDiamond, or visit the links in the show notes. I love you so much, babe, and I am so damn proud of you. I'm already excited to connect in the next episode, and until then, remember who you are and act accordingly.